welcome to the mid-April meeting of the Design Review Committee. I think everyone who was here at the last meeting is here again today, so I don't think there's any need to go over the process, because I think everyone has heard it before. With regard to the posting of the agenda, it's been posted at City Hall, at the Crowell Public Library, at the Recreation Department, and of course at the city website. Is there anyone here who wishes to make a public comment not connected at all with anything on the agenda? Okay. Is there anyone here for the open forum at the end of the meeting? Okay, not seeing anyone on either of those things. I believe item number 1, 3325 Monterey Road, is the first up on the agenda, and is the architect or the applicant present? Okay, there was, let me express this to you because I just found out about this very recently, and there was a discussion with Eva about this. There's a strong indication, and I don't know how strong it is, through an outfit, ESA, that the 3325 Monterey address may be a potential historic resource in our community. And of course, the decision is, well, how do we deal with it at this point in time? And I inquired of staff, and this is the result that came out of it. There was a report done by the applicants and owners, prior owner, where he either advocated for or supported or paid for a document creating this particular address as a historic resource. And staff, to go any further with this, staff would need to see that report. It's going to be very important. And my understanding is your client has the capability of getting that ESA report. I think there's a step that may or may not shed light on this particular project. So that would be step number 1. From what I understand, if once the report is obtained, if it could be turned over as part of your application to staff, a decision could be made as to whether to go any further with what's called a certificate of appropriateness or not, or just come back here. So if it's all right with you, the thought is that as to the Monterey application, that you do get that report, make it part of the application process, present it to Eva or Christine, and we'll make a decision as to that point. Staff will make a decision. Any questions on this at all? I think you've been called on this. One of the staff individuals from the city called you on this. Yeah, come forward just for a minute.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Alex Chen, project architect. I think when I started the project, we always worried about whether this is potential historic.
Right.
So at that time, I talked to the staff and so on, all the research we have done. The original architect was not famous in the city of San Marino. He has not done a lot of work, so the interpretation was this is not a historical significance. With that in mind, then we went ahead to develop all the drawings and so forth. And today, I also speak to Ms. Chu called me and realized that there's such a report. Must be the time that prior my attempt, to commission to this project that I'm totally not aware of. But I know the property owner was mentioned that they originally wanted to have a new house At that time, I don't know the ordinance kicking or not during that period, but I started this project maybe by October last year. Yeah, just to visit the site and, from that point on.
Okay, I think this is an important step that's necessary for the staff as well as our own review on this, and as to which body it goes to, whether it stays here, it goes to the planning commission or city council. This is fairly important under a new ordinance that we have. So I would imagine you can get that report because it was done at the request of the prior owner of the property. You could turn it over to staff, we could then move from there. Would you be able to have that all done by, let's say, would it be May 1st, our next meeting? Could you do that?
First, I think I'm traveling that session, but report, I can,
I
talk
think
to
on the
the client.
CEQA, don't we have a hold on the CEQA? If you could speak to that, Eva.
Correct. If the property is determined to have potential historic value, then the CEQA Permit Streamlining Act will be suspended until a determination is made on the historic value of the home.
So we could move it to, what,
June, the first meeting.
First, because we're only meeting once a month there.
Okay, so are you, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned about just to get the report submitted by May 1st or another hearing?
No.
May 1st?
We're not going to have it, you're not going to be able to do it. You just said you're going to be out of town or something.
Right.
So my thought is we're going to continue it to June 1st, and sometime between now and, say, the middle of May, you're going to have the report over to the city staff where they can make an evaluation.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
And sorry for this, but, it kind of blindsided us, hit us, due to some research that was done. It came up, and it's a very, very important thing that we don't pass on these things without a full examination, especially when a potentially historic resource is involved. And I appreciate your patience.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
If I can add something?
Sure.
I would just suggest that if this, my understanding of how real estate transactions are made is that something that, since it seems that maybe a previous owner may have commissioned this report, I think it says it was done in 2015. In any case, if it was done by a previous owner, that should have been part of the disclosures to the current owner in the disclosure documents.
And I will work with this
Yes,
issue.
if you would, and you agreed to a continuance, in case for whatever reason there's a streamlining act, you will agree to waive that on behalf of the client, correct?
Yes.
So we'll have the meeting next on
June 5th.
June 5th.
I have a question for staff. How did this come about, this ESA report?
So for every design review project, staff would make a environmental determination.
Right.
For this particular project, staff had previously made the determination that the project is exempt from further CEQA review.
Okay.
Since then, that additional information pertaining to the history, the landscaping architect, designer, I should say, and the homeowners, and also the architect of the home service in the last 2 weeks. And additionally, this afternoon, it was disclosed to staff that in a environmental assessment report to the city of Beverly Hills for an application in 2015, in the reference page of that report provided notation that an assessment report for this property exists and was completed by a local environmental assessment consulting company. So the committee at this point feels that they would need to see that report and the finding from that report in order to be comfortable with the CEQA finding that staff had made.
And so who notified staff of this report that was submitted to Beverly Hills?
It was submitted by another member of the committee.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'll move to continue the matter to June 5th. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Let's do a roll call.
Committee Member Lundgren,
Yes?
Committee Member Huang,
Yes.
Committee Member Bagnich, Vice Chair Cheng,
Yes.
Chair Bodie,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much again for your patience. Okay, moving on to the second matter, we have a staff report on that, please.
Thank you, Chair. Item number 2 is design review case number DRC 19-3, located at 1802 Alpine Drive. This project was continued from the April 3rd meeting, where the committee requested additional information about the proposed colors and materials, as well as a more detailed side elevation of the proposed front porch roof structure. Based on additional materials provided by the applicant, staff is still unable to make the finding of neighborhood compatibility with respect to the front porch roof, as it doesn't exist in the same manner on any other home within the legal neighborhood. The proposed style of the awnings are also incompatible with the existing structure in terms of color and design. Additionally, the proposed multiple paint colors on the structure lack cohesion, and staff recommends a condition of approval that would direct the applicant to select more appropriate colors for the structure, the awnings, and the front door. Staff is unable to make all the findings to support the front porch, but would be able to support the first-story addition and the removal of the second-floor balcony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant or applicant's representative present? If you'd like to come forward and just give your name and address and either give us a brief synopsis and just be available to answer questions within the pleasure.
Okay. My name is Richard Yuan. I live in 103 Alpine Drive. I was last time I was here, I presented, and all the you have comments. I prepared some information regarding the 4 items. So that is my answers. I'm here to respond to everybody's question.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff? First of all, I think I skipped over that. Okay, not seeing any. Any questions of the applicant?
I have a question. Do you have a materials board, or is it just this paper?
I do have a material board.
Oh, is that, have
This
the
is the
original?
original.
Thank you.
That is
This is perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Sorry, I have a question about the awning. Is it gonna be this beige color with a brown stripe, or this white color?
that is
with
the
a
one,
stripe?
yes.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Sorry, could you tell me which, I didn't catch which one it was.
Is this one?
Oh, okay, the one that's,
Yeah, it goes to the one in the elevation.
Okay, any other questions of this gentleman? Okay, not seeing anyone. You have a seat, I'll just ask you.
Thank you.
Sure. Anyone here wishes to speak for, against, or about the proposal, just raise your hand. Okay, not seeing any, we'll close the public aspect of the hearing. Begin with Ben. What's your thoughts on this, Ben?
I don't see from the last time any particular changes or comments related from this committee that's really he has approached and corrected. I still have an issue with the front entry and also the awnings in the back. I think probably would look very strange as a compatibility to the rest of the neighborhood. This is a corner lot, so it's quite visible from the street. Also, the garage, there's no mention on the plan that he plans to change the roof to match the existing house that he's going to change, which would look very odd from the street again, because it's a very dominant feature when you drive around the corner. You'll see that garage, and that new addition becomes even closer. 2 different materials again. So I would not approve it this time.
Thank you. Chris?
So I largely agree that there haven't been significant changes since last time, although I'm not necessarily opposed to the physical changes, it's more of the colors. I recall last time we discussed the white windows. I think if those were toned down a little bit, they can match with the awnings better. I actually think the ones on the elevation where it's white and brown is a little more compatible than the white and blue ones here. But without some of those color changes, I wouldn't be able to approve the project.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Kevin?
Yes, I would agree with committee member Lundgren. You know, there hasn't been as many changes as we have requested. Again, I can appreciate the need that you're trying to develop a new porch to shield from the weather. However, I think given the prominence of it being a corner lot stated and the frontage already being minimal setback, it's very noticeable, as well as it does add to kind of a disjointed appearance as you look at from the east elevation, or sorry, the west elevation. With respect to the changes of the window and the colors, you know, I don't see any major differences from what exists there today to what you're proposing. But I do agree that the awning color would be better suited if we were to match the color of the house. So I think I wouldn't be able to approve any modifications today with respects to a covered porch. However, with modification of the window color as well as the awning color, I would be able to support.
Okay, and Joyce?
Yes, I largely agree with everything that has been said by my three fellow committee members. The window and awning, or the window color and the awning colors are particularly problematic. I think that they should also match the color of the house. That would look more natural. And that's it. I have nothing else to add. I think that everything covered by my committee members was spot on.
Yeah, my thought at this point is there have been no significant changes as requested from the last meeting. And I think it's been pointed out what the problems are. The question is, does it get continued or does it get denied? And the last time we all made our points, and apparently those points were, for the most part, ignored. So with that, I'd be more in favor of denial than a continuance at this point. Do we have a motion? No motion at all?
Is there any possibility that there would be an approval with respects to color of the windows as well as awning and rejection of a porch?
If you're making a motion, I would second that.
Okay, well, I make a motion to approve DRC case number.
So you're approving and denying?
That's right, I'm conditioning with conditions. DRC case number 19-3, 1802 Alpine Drive, with the following conditions: that the covered porch is not approved and not part of the approval of this case.
And denied.
However, with staff's, working with staff, that the color of the windows match the color of the structure, as well as the awnings to match the color of the home, those two requests be approved.
And what about the garage?
And the garage roofing match the existing as a when replaced.
Okay, first of all, is that acceptable? That motion, is that acceptable to you? I just need a yes or no.
Yes, I can just
Okay.
leave that
All right, thank you. We have a second?
Yes, I'm seconding the motion.
All right, let's take a roll call on that.
Committee Member Lundgren,
Yes.
Committee Member Wong,
Yes.
Committee Member Batnich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Chang,
Yes.
Chair Brody.
Yes,
Motion carried.
it's been approved. Thank you. Okay, moving on to a project extension, design review case DRC 17-07. We have a brief staff report on that.
Thank you, Chair. On November 2nd, 2017, the DRC approved a one-story addition and exterior modifications at 1180 Oakwood Drive. The building permit was ready for issuance on October 31st, 2018. The property owner was unable to hire a contractor in time as she was tending to her son's severe health issues, and so she is requesting a extension, and staff feels that a 9-month extension would be sufficient time for the owner to pull the building permit and to begin construction. The new approval expiration date would be August 2nd, 2019.
Okay, you are the owner. Just state your name and address, please.
My name is H.S.I., last name C.H.I.A.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is a straightforward request for an extension. You want to add anything? It's pretty clear. Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions of staff?
The only question I would have for staff is, it says that the building permit was ready to issue on October 31st. So, given the 9-month extension, is that only to pull a permit, or is there a resubmission of a replan check to occur?
It would just be an extension to pull the permit.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you very much. Any questions of the applicant at all?
Just, can you explain what the reasons were for the delay? I heard something about having to maybe,
Yeah. The reason, I forgot, extension is my son, had the thing in November to December, he had very serious, seizure. And he's in the hospital now. Okay, there.
thank you.
Thank you very much. You can have a seat now. Thank you. Anyone here to speak for or against about the proposal? Okay, not seeing any. Let's close the public aspect of the hearing and begin with Chris. Your thought, extend or not extend?
Yeah, I think if 9 months seems
Great.
big enough, then that's good.
Kevin?
I would support the extension.
Joyce?
Yes, I would support the extension.
I would too.
All right, and I would as well. All right, do we have a motion?
I move to approve DRC, approve the extension request for DRC 17-07 at 1180 Oakwood Drive.
Do we have a second on that?
Second?
Okay, quick roll call.
Committee Member Lundgren,
Yes?
Committee Member Huang,
Yes.
Committee Member Batnich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Chang,
Yes.
Chair Brody.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and last call for open forum. I didn't see anyone raise their hand earlier in the meeting. Okay, with that, the meeting is adjourned. I think this may be an all-time record.
You're really trying.